Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron.
And my name is Mike,
I'm Jeff.
and welcome to another episode of the AMPED Golf Podcast. How's the two of you doing today?
Well, I'm tired today. Like
You
we said
tired
before the
today?
show, yeah, it's been a day.
Been a day. Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty good too.
got no complaints.
Good, good. Um, so let's talk about the tampon in your room,
All
and
right.
let's talk really quick about Tiger's juvenile joke that he played when he outdrove JT, and walking down the fairway, he pulls a tampon out of his bag and hands it to him.
Is
And
it is it juvenile though? I mean, okay, so
yeah,
some
it's juvenile only because that's something we would do, and we're little boys sometimes. So
well, I mean, okay, like we were saying, I kind of think all men are, but it's all about perspective, right? These two guys have been friends for a long time. They've been
oh
competing
yeah,
together for a long time. They've been on the golf course together for a long time. And I'm sorry, but if all the things that men said and did to each other came out, I mean, we
I
don't have
think
enough
it's.
time.
I just think it's funny that he already had it in his bag, ready to go. You know,
You know what
like
that tells me?
he
They've
knew it was
done it
going to
before,
happen. Yeah,
right?
I mean, he knew it was going to happen. Maybe it's something that they give each other back and forth. You know, when it could be an inside joke.
Exactly. Yeah, that tells.
I'm sure it
I
is. Yeah,
agree.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it is. The media is the one that really took offense more than anybody else. It seemed like, and started the ball rolling downhill. And then, of course, there were women that jumped on board with that. And everyone's entitled to your opinion, but it's a joke. Nobody was saying that little girls are in any way inferior, blah blah, whatever you're going to label it. It was a joke. I thought it was funny. I think you guys thought it was funny.
yeah.
A lot of the world thought it was funny. Maybe we're just being too sensitive. Anyway, so let's move on from that. He apologized for it. Wow, I didn't think he needed to apologize for it, but he did. Full swing. All right, how many episodes did you guys watch?
All of them.
I watched the first one.
I watched all of them as well. I'm gonna rewatch all of them again, and actually this time pay a little bit closer attention to it. I thought the first episode, the frenemies with JT and Justin, was pretty good.
Yeah, same. I thought it was a good look, and it gave. I mean, it's a good show. And okay, Jeff. So I watched them all, and I think we had a conversation a couple months ago when we were talking about this. And your one thing was like, I hope they have a slow-mo shot of a golf club hitting a golf ball, and it's literally before every single episode. And
Yes, it
every
is.
single episode, I just chuckled a little bit, and I was like, Jeff got exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, they opened up the credits, and I'm like, and then they showed that compression shot, and I'm like, oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome too. Sarah actually asked me, "Is that what it really looks like when a
Mm-hmm.
club hits the ball?" I'm like, "Yep, that's kind of what it looks
That
like."
is what it
So
looks like.
Well, it's when somebody good hits the ball well.
That's true.
true, true. So, Jeff, if there might be some things that we bring up that relate to other episodes, we will try not to spoil anything for you, though. Okay.
It's going to be okay. We
So
don't want to spoil it for all of our listeners and watchers who may not
true,
have seen it either. So
That's
true,
true.
true.
it's been out now for,
A week.
well, almost a week. Yeah.
Yeah, a week
Yeah.
tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So
So
I mean, we don't have to go crazy. We can talk about the first episode a little bit, and things like that. But I thought the show was really good, and it made me want to go watch the F1 series that they did before this, because I thought it was really well made. A lot of really good storylines. Obviously, like Live Golf is a huge part of the whole thing because that's what was going down. But they picked a great year to start doing this.
Yeah. So I watched the contrast for me was between Full Swing and then the inside look for the LPGA, right? Because I watched
Mm-hmm.
both of those
drive
episodes.
on. Yep.
Yeah, drive on. Thought the production value was better on the Netflix special for sure. But it did highlight for me, it was so striking, the difference between the where the PGA is now and the room that the LPGA has to grow.
Oh
And the
yeah.
most striking scene, have you both seen the LPGA one as
No,
well?
not yet.
I have, yes.
There's a scene where they're doing a press conference and they're in this tiny little tent, and it just there was this one shot where it looked like there were maybe 4 reporters there
Mhm.
asking her, and it just and that I'll be honest with you, it kind of hurt me. I was like, I can't believe that they're not, there's not more going on for the women.
Right.
So, but anyway, I thought they were both great, but I like the PGA one better. I wanted to like the LPGA one more than I did, but we'll see. They've got more episodes coming, so
Yeah, hopefully it gets a little bit better and that picks up some steam. With the PGA being dead the way it is, according to Liv and lots of golf fans, I thought this put them right back on the map and did a really great job of highlighting specific players while talking to other players too. But it really highlighted the relationship that JT and Justin have, which is something that not everybody knows. They've been competing against each other since they were like 12 or 13 years old, I think it said.
Yeah.
right.
So going back and forth with obviously Jordan coming out, going pro first and,
Winning a bunch.
majors
Yeah.
and
Right.
getting world number one before JT. JT winning last year at the Players, right? At
PGA.
PGA rather, and Jordan winning the first event of the year, which was the RBC
Heritage
Classic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now JT's only one major behind Jordan, and
Right.
it shows the kind of relationship they have because they are just basically frat guys, out there playing golf against each other. They're on a plane going to play a practice round somewhere. Jordan goes to JT, gets a card for $1,000. Okay. 7 of hearts. Nope.
Yeah, he lost all 3. Yeah, so he ends up,
And then of course the money games that they play against each other constantly when they're out on a golf course to keep things exciting. And the best thing about it, according to Jordan, was not actually winning, but having him hand him cash in front of other people over to Jordan. So the egos there are pretty massive, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and they're real people. And that's the thing that I love too, even more, was it really showcased the people that they are, and they seem to be genuine and really good. And have you noticed, and you'll notice this throughout the series, anytime there's autographs, they're like, everybody's signing everything. And if they're not signing, for the most part, they're like, hey, I can't right now, I'll be back later. And they come back later and they sign. I think that's great for the fans, especially the younger kids that are waiting in line to do it. So,
well, after the PGA, Justin, it was dark. He was trying to leave, and fans had stayed.
Yep.
And it would have been perfectly within his rights to say, guys, that's just too much right now. I got to, I'm exhausted. Stop, sign some stuff, thanked him for
waiting.
Yep. Thanked him for waiting, the whole 9 yards. So good on him.
The other thing I took away from this is, if we want to go see golfers, we just have to go to Jupiter, Florida.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all there.
Yeah, that's where anyone who plays golf lives, apparently.
They are all there, and apparently they work out together. They do lots of stuff. So I love.
I'd like to be in your neighborhood CVS, and Justin stops in to get some allergy medication.
And his car gets declined over and over again.
Yeah.
all the comments out there. He's one of us. He's really one of us. No, he's not. He
just has allergies.
Yeah, right. And I love the quote that I wrote one down. I think it's pretty accurate. I might have gotten a word or two wrong. I think it was Jordan that said, "This sport is freaking brutal. How quickly you can fall off and not be who you were anymore." Oh, that was JT that said it. As a matter of fact, when he had that shit round, was it round 3 of the Players where he kind of fell off? He couldn't make a putt or a second round. One of those
2
rounds.
or 3.
Yeah,
it was 2 or 3.
He was just struggling to find it. And his father's like, yeah, sometimes it's not great being a parent and a coach, because he's pissed off and he's just searching for something on a driving range, and nothing you can say to him or do is going to make him better. So, it really was a great tournament that he won. And Mito Pereira giving it away, which is in a future episode, Jeff. You'll see that whole thing play out with Mito and the Spanish guys, and it's pretty interesting. So,
all right, I'll have to keep watching them.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Yeah.
Go watch them. If you're listening and haven't seen any of it, go watch it. It's not, of course, it's more leaning towards the PGA Tour because that's what it was intended for. But Live is well represented as well.
Yeah, I think it's funny. We went through and talked about all these events last year too. So obviously you're watching this and you're going, "Oh, I know exactly what happens here." Yeah. Mark watched one episode with me, and there was like 4 or 5 times where I was like, "Oh, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that." Like, "Oh, here comes this shot."
Like that drive on 18 from Mito on the final day.
So put it in the water. Absolutely soul crushing. He could have and should have hit literally any other. He probably could have putted it off of there and still won it, but he had to pull. He Phil Mickelson did. I mean, he 100%. He pulled out the driver when he didn't need to, and made a big mistake.
Right. There was the last episode's about Rory, and there was a part in this. I think I told you this, Jeff. There was a part where Rory is laying on his back, getting stretched out or something, and he goes, "Fuck you, Phil." And somebody goes, "Oh, is that going to make it in?" He goes, "I hope it makes it in. Fuck you, Phil." And I was like, okay, but you're partly there because of what Phil helped do, right? And Phil helped drive popularity for a long time on the PGA Tour, maybe helped grow purses. And so, yeah, I understand you're the mouthpiece and the player responsible for carrying things. I'd much rather have Jon Rahm be that mouthpiece. I think he's more even toned, and I like a lot of the way he handles himself and the things he said about things the tour could do to improve and why he stays on the tour. So
yeah, I haven't listened to Jon Rahm talk very much, so
yeah, he'd love to see the tour do more for charity and have more events where the pros are actually holding clinics for kids and stuff like that. There's just a lot of it. And he's like, yeah, these people are still my friends. They're on Live Golf. They're on Live Golf. I don't have to agree with them, but they're still my friends, and I don't have to agree with everything they say or do to still be friends with them. He's really tight with Phil. So Phil really did a lot for John. And of course, the Live fans are going crazy. John's got to come over now that he's number one. He's got to come over to Live. I'm like, oh, shut up, everybody!
I don't think he will.
No, I don't think he will either. I think he wants to win. I mean, he's made almost $50 million on tour so far, or something ridiculous like that. And so far this year, he's got 3 PGA Tour wins, 5 wins worldwide.
Yeah,
and out of 9 or 10 events, and all but one was a top 10. So. He's obviously the most dominant golfer on the planet right now.
Oh yeah.
So I love it. So he does look like he's every bit the best golfer in the world right now. So, he gets to number 1 and Tiger gets back in the top 1,000. So for the first time in a while. So the performances by Tiger was pretty good. Tiger was asked after the event, what's next for you? And he said, pretty much, here's the deal. I'm not going to play any more than probably the majors and maybe a couple of more. That's it. That's all my body will allow me to do. My back the way it is, all the surgeries I have my back, my leg the way it is, I just can't. That's just going to be my future. So pretty much confirms what we expected, that he's going to try to play, maybe 5 or 6 times a year, maybe 7 times a year. That's about it. So
where he can win, he can.
Yeah. And if he shows up like he did at Riviera and has another good day instead of, a good day, a bad day, a good day, a bad day, he's actually going to be in contention in some spots probably. So nothing like a little Tiger to get the both sides of the crowd, the golf crowd, Live and PGA Tour, just going, because Live fans were going nuts on the pages about PGA Tour shit. They're broken. They're rolling out this old man, blah blah blah. Tiger Woods is broken down, and they still can't get their attendance up. Really? Well, Liv's motto is golf but louder. Can they get louder than the Waste Management?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I don't see it, right? I don't think any of their tournaments can get louder than Waste Management. They might not be able to get louder than Genesis, and that's a tame tournament compared to the Waste Management. But there are a lot of people there.
So. Yeah, there were.
It was really nice. Did you see that 65-year-old Bernard Longer won again on the Champions Tour?
I'm not
Did he?
surprised.
Did he really? Yeah, he's a good
That
golfer.
man is crazy.
65 years old. He's tied the record with Hale Irwin for most Champions Tour titles at 45, something that most people, including him, said was unattainable at one time. There's no way anybody would tie or break that record. He's tied it. He also set, or rather extended, the record for that he already held for the oldest winner on the over 50 tour as well. So he looks like he's 50s. He does not look like he's pushing 66 years old. And he's playing some hella golf. If you haven't
I'm sure we'll
watched
see
it,
him at Augusta in a couple months. So
yeah, why wouldn't you play?
You
I mean,
know.
if you're playing like that,
yeah.
Hey, question on Augusta this year. We only have 44 days to the Masters, by the way. Does Fred Couples make the cut?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, so big fan of Fred Couples. Just think he's got a great swing and a great golf game.
One of the best swings of all time.
Smooth, so super smooth, like silk. I don't know. I'd like to see him make it, but I don't know if he does. I mean,
I'm gonna go with a no on the no cut for Fred Couples this year.
I was leaning that way too.
So 2 no cuts. I say he's got at least one more cut in him. So I think this is the year he makes his last cut if he does it. So I watched him play a lot last year because we were able to watch a lot of the Masters last year on multiple TVs and computers because of their coverage. So I'm interested to see what he does. I don't know. We'll see. So Rahm comes through and wins. Hangs on to beat Mr. Homa by 2 strokes.
Man,
Patrick
Max Homa
Cantlay by
is
3.
just he is just sneaky good. Like I feel like a lot more people are starting to realize, who he is and that he can play golf. But man, he's been having a really good couple of seasons the last few years.
He moved up to the first time in the top 10 ever in his career. He's number 8. JT and Colin Morikawa dropped to 9 and 10 from 7 and 9. And Tony Finau moves up again. He's getting closer to the top 10. He moves up to number 13. Matty Fitzpatrick drops out of the top 10. He goes down to number 13. Other than that, Scheffler gets bumped to number 2. Rory gets bumped to number 3. Cam Smith falls to number 5, and that should continue to fall as they don't get OWGR points still on Live Tour. But Rahm really, really played well. He's got 10 career PGA Tour wins now. He gets the number 1 spot in the OWGR back again. He played the back 9 better than Homa, especially those last 3 or 4 holes that Homa was he over par pretty much all week, or even while Rahm was 3 or 4 under par in those holes. So
yeah,
it looked like Homa was going to be able to scramble, but he tried to hit a low shot from a washout on the left side of the fairway under a tree, and he clipped the tree. And that started that was kind of the beginning of the end for Homa.
Yeah.
So
I think
it was good.
Well, it's just one of those things too where that's maybe Max's favorite tournament of the year. Like he has his dad used to take him to the Genesis Invitational when he was a kid. It's the first golf event that he ever went to. And he was real beat up about losing at the end. I mean, he was crushed that he let it kind of felt like he let it go.
He did, he really threw it out there about the fans. He was upset he didn't do it for the fans, not necessarily himself, but for the fans. So
yeah, I mean, he grew up around that area.
That's home.
People there love him too. He's starting to become kind of like a golf superstar a little bit. People are starting to really look at Max, and he's gaining a lot more Twitter followers. That's kind of where he was known from, as being that snarky guy on Twitter, but he's starting to play some really good golf.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Aaron, because one of the Full Swing episodes deals with Joel Damon. Damon. Joel Damon. Would you rather play golf with Joel Damon or Max Homa?
Probably Max Homa.
I think either would be cool, don't you?
Yeah, so when I started like really getting into like golfing and I was like in that obsessive watching everything on YouTube phase, I found the No Laying Up guys. And one of their series, Max Homa
Yep.
was on there. It's like a 3 or 4 year old video, and he was like, 200th in the world. Not really, he didn't even have a win yet. And he just seemed like a really cool, chill guy. And then all of a sudden he's just now he's winning a bunch. He's 8th in the world. It was just kind of crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Homa is a superstar, not in the making anymore. I think he's gotten there. He wins a major, it's over for him, and his life will never be the same, right? Go forward.
Listen, again, Max Homa may win the U.S. Open this year because isn't it at the Los Angeles Country Club?
It sure is.
He plays really well in California, and I'm pretty sure he's won that, or he's played that course a lot too. So,
yeah. So back to Rahm. So far, he's earned $9.4 million in 2023, just in 2023.
dang.
Not a bad year.
Nope.
That's almost 1.9 per event, $470,000 around, $26,000 a hole, and $7,000 a shot so far for him this year. He's got a first place, a third place. This is worldwide. First, third, tied for seventh. First, tied for eighth. First, tied for fourth. First, tied for second. Tied for 16th. Tied for eighth. Tied for fifth. So,
Wow.
if he continues,
Is that only one outside of a top 10?
yeah, just the tie for 16th, and I'm not
That's
sure what
crazy.
event the tie 16th was at, but it really was crazy. So, I think that he has the best chance since who was the last just pure all season dominant golfer? Was it Tiger or was there somebody after Tiger? I don't remember anybody being dominant for an entire year.
Maybe like peak, like early Rory, maybe.
I think John has a chance this year to do something that we haven't seen in a long time. Multiple wins, meaning 7, 8, 9 wins, a major, maybe 2 majors. Going to destroy the money record if he continues.
When's the last time someone won 2 majors in the same year? Was it Brooks Koepka? Did he win the U.S. Open and the PGA?
I don't know if it was in the same year. I don't.
He went back to back on both of those majors,
right?
Or he went back to back.
He went back to back on the U.S. Open.
Yeah, but I don't know if he won. No, I have to
look. I don't know. So I mean, Rahm sank a almost 46-foot putt to retake the lead on the 14th hole, and then almost hit a hole in one on the par 3 16th. And I watched that shot. That flag was tucked, I don't know how many paces on the green over a bunker. You had to go fly a bunker to get to it, and he landed it nice and soft. I mean, it rolled out to about 3 feet, and he tapped it in or something stupid. It was a ridiculous shot. Homa did shoot a 3 under 68 to finish 15 under on the week, and he really, really fought hard. And you're right, he was extremely emotional. He loves Tiger Woods. He thinks Tiger's the greatest ever. And he was happy that Rahm won, but sad that he couldn't win for the fans, because when he won here, last year or 2 years ago?
Last year.
And there were like no fans there.
Yeah.
So, he wanted to win with people there. That was really important to him.
So Brooks Koepka, which this is kind of crazy, and I can't wait till you watch the Brooks Koepka episode.
Oh
Jeff,
my
because
God.
I have a lot. I have a lot. That
Oh my God.
But Brooks Koepka, back-to-back U.S. Open wins, 2017, 2018. He wins the PGA Championship in 2018, and then wins it again the next year in 2019.
That was pretty good.
So
he didn't win shit else, but he won the majors, right?
Well, that's funny. Instead of winning the Grand Slam, he wins the PGA twice and the Open twice.
Yeah.
So I got 4 majors.
Yeah.
Not all 4 majors.
I mean, that's also crazy because Rory is the only person in that era that can say the same thing, and Koepka did it in 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot. We have to spend. I mean, I feel like almost a whole episode, like a whole podcast on that Brooks Koepka episode, because there's a lot that I want to talk about.
There's a lot to unpack with that. Yeah. There's a lot to unpack, and I'm not going to ruin it for you, Jeff. You got to watch it, then we'll talk about it. But holy Holy shit is the word that comes to mind there.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah, it was really interesting. Let's take a look here real quick on the one and done. Who picked who last week? Aaron and I picked Ricky Fowler, who got us top 20, I believe.
Yep.
Jeff had JT.
Good pick. Another top 20.
Yeah.
We all tied at 20.
Yeah.
Who did Tony pick?
And God, I don't remember who Tony picked. I have it written down. I don't remember who Tony picked off the top of my head. I know he's picking Sepp Straka this week, though. So
I haven't
we'll
even
get into that in a
looked at
few
the
minutes.
leaderboard.
Well, we'll get into that in a few minutes. I'll give you guys some names and we can go from there. But the Honda Classic is up next. This is the final Honda Classic. They are bowing out as a tour sponsor after 43, 44 years, something like that, something ridiculous.
Long run.
They did not get this as an elevated event. I knew that led to some hard feelings. I think we talked about that last year when it was announced. I'm not sure what's going to replace them. So not a lot of people in the top of the world golf rankings here. And let me see what we got next is Sanjay M is probably the betting favorite right now.
Yeah, he's your odds-on favorite.
Yeah, Shane Lowry's in there, Aaron Wise, Chris Kirk, Alex Noren, a whole bunch of people, but I have the whole field up. And when you look through the field, you're going to see some names you know and some names you don't know. Johnny Vegas is playing, which we haven't seen Johnny Vegas in a while.
Johnny Vegas.
It's got one of the best names out there. Harris English is going to be there. Jason Duffner, Luke Donald, Dylan Fratelli hasn't really done much lately. Bill Haas is going to be there. Harry Higgs is going to be there. Scott Harrington.
Yes.
Garrick Higo, Charlie Hoffman, JB Holmes, Billy Horschel, Sanjay M. Zach Johnson's going to be there. Zach's been playing pretty well lately. Who else? Matt Kuchar is going to be there. So we got the Cooch.
Taylor Pendrith.
Taylor Pendrith is going to be there. Absolutely. So we got some names. All you got to do is pick one.
Got to pick the right one, sort of.
You
right
do.
Runish.
Yeah.
Nice. Win's a win, right?
Nice.
Win's a win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, Aaron?
I have no idea. I don't know who I want to pick for this.
I'm picking Zach Johnson.
Billy Horschel.
That's who I was settling on to, Jeff, was Billy Horschel.
Billy, yeah, you can. And Jeff, you cannot pick Billy. You've already picked him.
I picked Billy?
You picked Billy.
The heck was I thinking? All right. I'll go with Sepp Straka as well. I might have already picked him too, though, actually.
Let me look. You have picked Sepp Straka.
Yeah, I thought I did.
No.
My God. Garrick Higo. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Garrick. Already picked Kuchar, pretty sure.
No Kuchar for you.
Really? I'll take him. He's
Matt
due.
Kuchar. Tony picks Sepp Straka.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm like you. I'm throwing a dart here. I'm like, who's it gonna be?
Well, somebody came up, and I don't have the whole story. I'll try to get it for next week. But there was a person who came up with a way to make the events that are not necessarily elevated mean something. So right now, you get exemptions for winning specific stuff. To keep the non-elevated events something that has interest to the pros playing them and maybe even the people watching, if you win a non-elevated event, you automatically gain entry into the rest of the elevated events for the remaining year or for 2 years, for a 2-year period, an exemption into the elevated events.
Yeah.
Because really that's what this is going to turn into, don't you think?
Right. It's going to be people just showing up to play the, however many 20 plus $million events. And then no one in the top 50 is going to be at anything else.
Well, they have to fill in their obligation, but that'll be it.
Yeah, so they'll play a couple of non-elevated events a year, and that's about it.
The big ones, the big non-elevateds for that year is what they'll go to.
Sure, which means that the rest of the tour could kind of turn into almost a minor league, couldn't it? I know that we already have that with oh my God,
Corn Ferry.
the Corn Ferry Tour. But double A, triple A, single A, it could turn into the same thing baseball wise with the tour. If only the elevated events are going to be the ones that most people are concerned about. But let's give it a way for them to get into it. Can't be that bad, right? So Honda Classic goes. We move from California to Florida. PGA National Members Club, which is the home to 5 courses, I found out, which I did not know. Not a lot of the top players going to be there, but it should still be pretty decent to watch. The weather in Florida has been kind of iffy with wind and things like that, so it could be interesting. So we'll see what happens there. We got the one and done in, and LPGA gets back to work this week, don't they?
They do.
In Thailand.
They play the Honda LPGA Thailand. They start Thursday, just like the gentlemen do, but with the time difference, they start Wednesday night for us because they're about 15 hours ahead. I want to say over in Thailand, 14 hours ahead. So, so they'll be golfing, during odd hours for us. So it'll be scoring updates and tough to watch the coverage, but a lot of times you'll see it on tape delay. So it's always good. And then they start their schedule in earnest at this point. Because your next one is the HSBC Women's World Championship and so on and so forth. So
yeah, so we got that to look forward to. We get to watch the ladies play again. Again, it'll be difficult this weekend. Unlike Live, which is going to have everything on tape delay for the most part. That's not, we're going between 1 and 6. The ladies are doing it because out of necessity. So speaking of Live gets started on Friday. They don't get started on Thursday because they're only the 54 holes. So they get started at the in Mexico at Mayacoba, right? So it's El Chameleon Golf Course, which was designed by Greg Norman, and the PGA Tour used to have an event here up until this year where it was taken off the calendar and replaced by a Live event. Live has announced all the members for their 12 teams and their team captains. So I'll go through it real quick for everybody in case you're questioning. I think they have like 72 signed players too. So I'm not quite sure how that works out when there's only 48 allowed to play at any given time. So DJ holds on to the 4 aces. Oh, DJ and Adidas
Sergio Garcia,
no longer
and Sergio
partners.
got let go from Adidas.
DJ didn't get let go. DJ dropped them.
Oh, really?
He wants to build his 4 aces brand.
Okay.
Are you going to buy 4 aces stuff?
No.
Okay. So Patrick Reed, Pat Perez, and Peter Uihlein are on the team. Patrick Reed, again, he's got to be the most despised player in golf. I don't know of anybody. I can't think of anybody bigger.
I just had visions at recess where DJ and all the team captains are picking their guys. And Patrick Reed's, somehow DJ goes last and Patrick Reed's there going, come on, pick me.
Yeah. The Cleeks are captained by Martin Kammer and Graham McDowell, Richard Bland, and Bernie Weisberger.
They didn't change their name?
No, it says Cleeks. So
Crushers
with Bryson DeChambeau have Paul Casey, Charles Howell III, and Anirban Lahiri. If you remember Lahiri last year, going back and forth with Cam Smith, was it the Players Championship?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Where Lahiri almost came through at the end. The Fireballs are captained by Sergio Garcia and have Abraham Answer, Eugenio Chicara, and Carlos Ortiz. High Flyers, Phil Mickelson, Brendan Steele, Cameron Tringali, and James Piot. The Ironheads have Kevin Na as captain with Siwon Kim, Danny Lee, and Scott Vincent. The Majestics have Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Henrik Stenson.
How is it spelled?
Horsfield.
Spell it for me.
Majesticks.
Yeah, of course it is.
Great.
Of course it is. And then we have the Range Goats, captained by, of course, Bubba Watson.
Listen, this is now the best name. It's the best team name on the entire thing. I mean, Range goats is better than every single name that you've got that you've come up with, or that you've said so
Sadly,
far.
you're not wrong. You're absolutely
Probably.
100% correct.
Now I want a range
Probably.
goat thing.
Yeah, but can you see a range as a range goat? Should you be wearing top end Air Jordans on your feet as your golf shoes? That's because HV3 is on that team along with Taylor Gooch and Thomas Peters. Ripper, not the Rippers, not the Ripper,
Just a Ripper?
just Ripper.
Is there just one person on the team?
Nope. It's an Australian thing, and I'm not sure quite what it means.
Going on a ripper.
But is captained by Cam Smith with Mark Leishman, Matt Jones, and Jediah Morgan. Smash has Brooks Koepka, Jason Kokrak, Matt Wolf, Chase Koepka. God, Chase Koepka. God, I still can't believe it. Anyway, Stingers have Louis Oosthuizen with Charles Schwartzel, Brandon Grace, and Dean Burmeister, all South Africans. Ernie Els has a story that's out there. I wasn't going to bring it up, but what the hell? Where he's very disappointed in his fellow South Africans that he helped raise from pups to what they are now, because all these guys, he still talks to, I think, Charles and Brandon a little bit, but he hasn't had anything to do with Louis Oosthuizen since he's left. And, he goes, I've had them all over my house. I'm disappointed in their choices. The way they went about it, that was more the way they went about it. But, I think a lot of people have a problem with them just coming out and saying, yeah, I did it for the money. Fuck,
Right.
Wouldn't you? So anyway, Joaquin Neiman is the captain of the Torque with Sebastian Munoz, Mito Pereira, and David Puig. And they're all getting ready for their opener. So
Australian slang, ripper, very good, excellent, or fantastic.
Rippers?
No, ripper.
Rippers?
No, ripper. Just ripper. Or is the team name Ripper, comma, Jack the? I mean,
that could be cool.
It's one way to go about it, right? No. So Live gets started. We'll be able to watch them on the CW here in the States. Between 1 and 6 is when they're going to be broadcast every Saturday, Sunday. For those that are overseas, you can watch it on the CW app. There are ways out there for you to do it. And for all the Live fans that are really extreme Live fans and hate everything PGA Tour and everything that doesn't have to do with Live, grow the hell up, because you guys are making idiots out of yourself. We could have a show where I just read comments from all the fan pages of Live, and you can see how horrible you sound. I'll send screenshots to you guys saying, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this. I think I did it to Aaron more than I did to Jeff. It's ridiculous, right?
You're going to find that with any super fandom of any kind.
Yep.
It's going to be that. I mean, regardless, you can go to any type of thing, and
they're just making shit up at this point. They just are making shit up. And I called one person out. I actually said, watch golf much, because he was talking about the Masters dinner and how Rory was gonna handle the Masters dinner. I'm like, well, Rory's never won the Masters, so he won't be at the Masters dinner. So I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I did like Tiger's response to that when he was asked if there'd be tension. He said, I hope not. We're here to honor Scotty, and that's what the dinner's supposed to be. Yeah. Honor the champion. So I'm sure they'll be fine. I don't think there are going to be any issues. I'd still like to see it televised, but hey, whatever. Rick Shields has gone ahead and done some testing with the PXG golf ball.
Oh, that's right. So they're coming out with
watch it. It's out.
Have you guys ever seen, and I wanted to talk about this for a while, but I keep forgetting. Have any of you seen PXG golf commercials? Like on YouTube pre-roll or something like that, where it's a PXG commercial?
I've seen a lot
of clothing commercial for them.
Their commercials drive me crazy. It sounds like a congested Donald Trump is the one reading off their stuff. Like, here at PSG, we got the club head speed. And it's just one of those things where every time I see them, I'm like, I don't want to buy any of these clubs. just because every time I see
the voice.
yeah, it's
The
all that's
voice.
all I can think about.
You'd be in your backswing. You're really gonna hit this
Yeah.
club well.
Wow.
Anyway,
No, I
go ahead
have
with the
not.
ball.
Now
Sorry.
I'm gonna go look for it anyway.
Side
So
tangent
speaking
over.
speaking of Donald Trump, there's a video of him playing golf where he drives his cart on the green to go putt his ball.
Nice.
No.
I hope he was on his golf course.
Yeah,
His groundskeeper's
that's true.
probably going, oh.
Yeah, well, Donald get to do what you want. Anyway, so Rick did a little test with the golf ball. He loves testing golf balls. He does it. He cuts them open. He does all kinds of stuff. He's got a pretty set routine when he goes through it. And he was very underwhelmed with the golf ball. So he likes the alignment. The golf ball looks good. PXG logo is really prominent on there and dark black, so it sticks out like a sore thumb. But they have a nice alignment aid with a straight line going in both directions on it. So that's really nice. He doesn't like the sound. Rick, if you watch his stuff, will talk about the sound a golf ball makes. And he's like, I hate the sound of this. It sounds really hard. He doesn't spin as much as a Pro V1. It did perform well initially on the durability test where he hits 10 the ball, same ball 10 times out of the sand, out of a sand trap. And it held up well there. It didn't hold up well on nippy chips, though, where it scuffed up pretty substantially, actually. And it didn't fly as far as Pro V1. Shocker, right? 10 yards shorter, as a matter of fact, on average. So, which is substantial because they're saying this is the ball that's going to compete with Pro V1, and nobody has really come up with a ball. TaylorMade has a ball that does well. Callaway has a ball that does well. They're right up there with the Pro V1s, but this one's not. So if you're thinking that you could save some money and go get a ball that's comparable for $10 less a dozen, PXG is not the ball apparently. So.
Or you can catch Costco's 3-piece vinyl ball in stock and buy a bunch of them because they're much cheaper and hit really well.
Yep.
And the Kirkland balls test really well against Pro V1s and fly pretty much the same. So it might be just a touch shorter by a yard or two last time I saw a test. But Aaron, you've seen them tested before, right? They're really good, and we've all hit them. So
I will. If I see a Kirkland ball on the ground, it's in good condition. It's going in the bag.
Yeah,
because I mean I know that they're good balls. So
and silly me, I was at Costco last weekend and didn't grab 3 dozen for the season because
did they have them out?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Fort Wayne.
I like Vice too. I like the Vice Pros. Those are pretty decent. And if you're gonna spend, $30 on a golf ball, they have some good stuff. But I haven't really bought a lot of Pro V1s because I don't want to spend $50 on a dozen.
Well, we've all got a couple dozen balls.
That's true.
Anyway, so.
That's true.
Right. Yep, we do, and can't wait to actually get them on a golf course.
I can't wait to use those emoji golf balls.
Yeah, Lauren got us the emoji face golf balls. So,
oh, really?
Oh
my gosh, that's cool.
So we'll get those out of the course as well. That'll be a lot of fun.
Hope the one's got the poo emoji. That'd be great.
I do have the poo emoji.
Yes, and we'll use it appropriately too. So, what else you guys got? What do you want to talk about?
I'm just ready to go actually golf. I think after we went to that simulator a couple weeks ago, I thought I'd be a little bit worse, to be honest, but things are there, and I'm ready to go actually play golf.
I'm ready to not have a computer do weird shit to my golf ball because I know I didn't have a good swing. I realize that. But there was some weird stuff coming out of that. And I would rather hit I'd like to go see what I'm doing on a range at the very least to get it so I can get going.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about getting out yesterday, but the wind was kicking up in the afternoon, and I just thought it wouldn't be so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
We've got not tomorrow, the day after, it's going to be in the 60s.
Well, so I have to open my koi pond this weekend because I've been keeping an eye. It's been so warm that I'm starting to get moss or there's kind of algae on top of it, and because it hasn't been frozen for a month, it hasn't stayed frozen.
Right.
So I'm just gonna have to open it because I can't have the fish dying on me. So
yeah,
and this would be the earliest I've ever opened it. I mean, it can handle.
Watch it freeze right after.
That's okay. It can handle some nights below freezing. It's just been so consistent, and I've been watching the forecast. I think we're gonna have an early spring this year, so I hope we get out early.
Yeah,
Hope
me
so
too.
too.
It'd be nice if it's not super rainy too for like a month, so we can actually go play a little early golf.
Man.
Right.
Yeah, that would be great. Get things firmed up and fast right away. That would be awesome. So,
And
well, that's all I got.
Much here soon either, so we can go play on a Saturday.
Yes, we can get out in the mornings once the weather changes here and the days get a little bit longer. Get out and get 9 in before work again. That'll be a lot of fun. So
there you go.
Lots of good stuff to look forward to. That's all I got for this week. It was kind of a light news week this week, and we've been pretty busy with archery and other stuff going on. So, anything else?
All I got.
Watch
the Full Swing documentary, everybody.
Please watch it.
If you have Netflix, watch it.
Yeah, man, there's some really good stuff. There's some really good quotable stuff that I'm holding back because it's really good. And if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So go watch it. Enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Check out the Drive On the LPGA.
Yep.
It's on YouTube. There's only one episode so far. I'm not sure when the next one's going to be dropped, but it's coming out, and hopefully they pick up their production value too. So other than that, that's all I got. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you later.
Have a great week.
Bye, everybody.